Hi, I'm Deborah Stengel, founder of Sedona Solar Ventures, and international best-selling author of The Journey to Happy, coming to you again from incredibly beautiful Sedona, Arizona, and I'm so happy you're here with me. In this series of videos, I'm talking to you about concepts from my book, The Journey to Happy, how embracing the concept that nothing is wrong can transform your life. And also the things we teach to help people have incredible transformations in their retreats with Sedona Solar Ventures. I want to talk to you today about something that you would think nobody would have to say this, but I guess we do because I see this out there all the time. And it's, if you want healthier, happier relationships, you need to stop saying nasty stuff to people you love. And I'm sure you're out there thinking, duh, Deborah, everybody knows that. And okay, maybe everyone knows it, but is everyone abiding by that? I don't think so. Let's look at what we see out there. I mean, look at TV. Reality shows get bigger ratings the nastier people are with each other. The Kardashians are constantly talking nasty to each other and nasty about other people. And then look at even situation comedies that are on TV. The whole thing is about people being nasty with each other and saying snarky things to each other. But the thing that is the worst, and the one that really breaks my heart, is the one where people say nasty stuff to the people they love. People say nasty stuff to their families, and even worse, couples say nasty things to each other. Now think about it. Your family and your partner, these are the people that are supposed to be the foundation of love in your life. And you're saying nasty stuff to them? And I'm not talking about them. If they're saying nasty stuff to you, then maybe you send them this video. I'm talking about the one person here who has some control over what is coming out of their mouth, and that person is you. You have control over what you say and whether it's nasty or not. And if there have been some nasty exchanges, I'm guessing that was happening on both sides. So let's just focus on the person who has control here, and that person is you. And at this point, let me define what I mean by nasty stuff. And I have to say, my definition is very, very broad. Anything that isn't coming from love is by definition negative and not pleasant and not good for the relationship. And then we get down to the really nasty stuff, where you're calling the other person names, you're telling them what's wrong with them, and generally making them feel bad. And let's get really honest about why you're doing that. You can tell yourself you're wanting to help them, but it's really because you want them to be different. You want them to work harder, or you want them to work less and spend more time with you, or you want them to spend less time with their friends, or you want them to spend more time with their friends. It's always going back and forth, but it's always about control. And even though you're telling yourself that you're trying to help, and I'm sure part of that is true, but I want to tell you, when we are complaining, criticizing, and just generally saying nasty stuff to the other person, we are killing intimacy. We are killing love. We're doing the opposite of what a relationship is supposed to be doing, which is nurturing the other person. You are killing the one thing you say you want, which is love and connection. And I know what you're saying. I have to tell him what to do. He's a child. If I don't, everything will fall apart. And I will tell you, you can keep on maintaining that, but you are killing your relationship. And I understand. I get it. I grew up and got married during the time when a lot of therapists were saying, just let it all out. Don't hold back. Say whatever's on your mind. And I gave myself permission to say all kinds of nasty stuff because I thought I was airing things out. And the stuff I was saying was, of course, true. And I was just trying to help my soon-to-be ex-husband to be a better person. Well, all the studies are now showing that the opposite is true. Criticism, yelling, saying nasty stuff is death to a relationship because it kills love. It kills the nurturing we're all looking for. There are therapists out there who can watch you as a couple interact and tell you within a very short period of time and with astonishing accuracy your chances of staying together. And it all comes down to, how do you treat each other? Are you nurturing? Are you friends? Or are you nasty and controlling? If you're nasty and controlling, your relationship is on the road to Splitsville. So what's the answer? It's really simple. Number one, understand the nasty stuff is killing your relationship. And number two, stop the nasty stuff. So that's pretty easy, right? Well, as someone who gave myself permission to do that for so many years, I know it's not easy. But here's the key. Make the decision to stop giving yourself permission. Making that decision can change everything in your relationship. We had a couple here a few months ago. I'll call them Carol and Mike, although that was not their name. And they came to us with the wife saying that she's an overachiever and her husband isn't, and that was really bothering her. And her husband was saying that he wanted to have more intimacy and more connection with her, which was kind of interesting because usually what we see is the opposite, that the woman is wanting to have more connection, but that's not what the situation was here. I went to the office, as I always do, to go in and to just say hi and to ask them how they're doing and how they're feeling. And within 10 minutes, what I noticed was that she was talking over him and criticizing him, actually, and telling him what to do. And that happened 4 times in less than 10 minutes. And I had just come in to say hello and to ask them how they were doing. When I left the office, I said a special prayer for them because I had a bad feeling. And after their first day, I checked in with their practitioners, which I don't usually do. And what I found out is their love codes. We discovered that his biggest love code is words of praise. And what that means is that he needs words of praise in order for him to feel nurtured and loved. Well, they both agreed, both of them, that she constantly criticizes him. So he was not feeling loved or nurtured in the relationship. And when she was asked, could you start saying things a little bit differently? She said, no. What I'm saying is the truth. I'm being honest. And if he can't handle the truth, then so be it. We found out that her biggest love code is protection. She doesn't feel protected by him because he doesn't work as hard as she does, and he doesn't do things the way that she wants him to do them. So she ends up not feeling protected. Their next session was the Enneagram, and we discovered that she, like me, is an 8. You can watch my other videos on the Enneagram, but just very briefly, 8s, of which again I am one, are the aggressors, and they're always picking fights. And if they are unhealed 8s, they always think they're right, and they don't trust anybody. So here we have a person whose love code is protection, and she doesn't trust anyone and admits that she doesn't trust anyone, not even her husband. So here we have a situation where neither one of them is getting what they need the most to feel loved and nurtured. He needs words of praise, and she is saying, no, I can't stop criticizing him. She needs protection. And even though he's saying, I want to protect her, what he told us was, I keep trying to do things, but it's never enough, and so I've pretty much given up. But the biggest thing is that she's unwilling to change. She believes that her criticism is the truth and that telling the truth is more important than nurturing her husband. And I mean, okay, I was an attorney for 20 years. I place a lot of value in the truth. The question becomes, do you want to be right? Or do you want to have a happy relationship? And understand the truth that Carol was talking about was the truth about all the things that were wrong with her husband, that he didn't work hard enough and that he didn't do things the way that she wanted him to do. I spoke with the other practitioners during the rest of the retreat, and there was progress being made, but Carol just really wasn't making the switch. She really felt that being right was more important than nurturing her husband. And then the magic happened. Mike was getting so much out of the retreat. He was having huge transformations. And then they both did their breath journey separately. And in that journey, Carol's mother came to her. And of course, Carol's mother had been a very, very critical person. That's where Carol learned it. And her whole life, Carol felt like she never lived up to what her mother wanted her to be. In this breath journey, her mother suddenly appeared to her and even apologized to her, told her she loved her, told her how proud she was of her. And then she told Carol how sorry she was that she had unknowingly taught Carol to do this, and showed her how Carol was unwittingly teaching her own children to do this, and how important it was to break this generational pattern. Her mother said to her, you have to love him. You have to give him love. The mother conveyed to her the importance of love and how the criticism was just getting her exactly what she didn't want, which was an unhappy relationship. Carol told me that after this experience with her mother, she had never felt so much love and had never felt so safe. But the best part was she got it, that she had to stop with the criticism. She said, I just have to stop. And it's so ironic because, of course, during the entire retreat, her practitioners were all saying to her, you have to stop the criticism, and she couldn't hear it. But then her dead mother shows up in a breath journey, and that time she got it. Because that's how this works. It doesn't work to have someone just tell you something. You have to experience it. You have to really take it down to your core. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that our retreats work on all the levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. If your relationship is having problems, take a look at how you talk to each other. Do you speak lovingly to each other? Do you treat each other like friends? Or do you give yourself permission to say nasty stuff? And remember, my definition of nasty stuff is anything not coming from love. Start talking nice to each other for 1 week and see what happens. I think you might be amazed. And yes, I know there might be things where there are deeper issues going on. There might be a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and problems on both sides. That's usually the case. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Try this and see what happens. Or think about coming to Sedona and doing a couples retreat. We can help you discover your true needs because most people don't even know what they are. And we can help bring you back into the love you're craving. If you'd like, go to SedonaRetreatGuide.com and get your complimentary copy of the Sedona Guide to Couples Retreats today. Or even better, if you'd like to talk to someone about doing a retreat that will turn your relationship around, call us at 928-204-5988. And if you got value from this video, please take the time to like it, share it with someone in your life who you think might get something out of it, and subscribe to our channel. You can have the life and relationship you want. I know it.